A top Chicago Blackhawks prospect has been given a huge opportunity heading into this year's World Juniors. As well, we have a few roster moves that we want to discuss in this video, but before we get into everything here, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. We noticed that 83% of you guys watching right now are not, and we're very, very close to 1,000 subs. So if you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, follow along to all the Blackhawks news, you're in the right spot, stay a while, and help us out by hitting that sub button. But like I said, we have some major news coming out of Chicago here first. We're going to start off with a few roster moves, something just wisely before we get into the major prospect news that I think is going to be very exciting for Blackhawks fans. We're going to start off here with what came out earlier by Charlie Roumeliotis. Wyatt Kaiser and Isaak Phillips are both heading to the AHL Rockford Ice Hogs. In addition, Louis Crevier has been recalled and Jared Sonorti is finally back from the injury reserve. That's two huge defensemen being added, literally huge as well, but also two very big moves as well. You know, Isaak Phillips, he's been playing very well. He probably shouldn't have been sent down. I don't think that was the right move, but we theorized that it's a lot about the Blackhawks just giving different things a try. You know, they're in no position that they need to win. They're in no position to have a set, solid roster. So I think, you know, bringing some people up, moving some people around, there's nothing wrong with it. So I do think Isaak Phillips will be back in the NHL, definitely this season. I'm a firm believer in that. But, you know, it's going to be just a process. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people moving up and down throughout the AHL and NHL. We know, Nick, you know as well, being a Montreal fan, how, you know, when they're in a tough spot, a lot of people are coming up, a lot of people are being moved down. But I want to ask you one thing. One thing that Montreal, you know, kind of struggles with sometimes. Louis Crevier is 6'8", for those who don't know. But what do you think about having the importance of having size on this NHL roster, especially Chicago, where they have a lot of young, smaller guys, and having someone 6'8" being kind of that enforcer role, but even though he's not really an enforcer, what do you think the importance is in that? You know, it's a big part in today's game.
Yeah, like, not only is it important to have size, but it's also important to have a good hockey mind. So, like what you were saying earlier, I just want to touch on that. Like, they're gonna have time to iron this stuff out. Like, it's not just gonna be the 6'8" guys always on the team getting called up for like the smaller guys to go back down. But at the same time, size is very important. And strength. It shows strength in a team when you have a big guy like that back there who's ready to push people around and stuff. You see it with Montreal with Arber Xhekaj. You see it with Toronto with Ryan Reeves. You see those guys. Those are important guys to have on your team. Whether Ryan Reeves is a great hockey player or not, people are scared of Ryan Reeves. Whether Arber Xhekaj is a great hockey player or not, people are scared of Arber Xhekaj. And now Crevier is 6'8", and I'm sure a lot of people that were going to the front of the net in Chicago are going to be a little bit more hesitant to go to the front of the net now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. He's been a pretty solid defenseman this year in the AHL. He's on track for 22 points in 71 games as a defenseman. Now, obviously, this is probably not going to be exactly correct, but we haven't seen too much about him, you know. Haven't watched much AHL. It's been kind of hard to watch, but from what we've seen and what we know of him, he's a pretty solid defenseman. Like you said, he's going to be in front of the net. Nobody is going to want to go in front of the net but this guy. He's only, I believe, 21, 22 years old, and being 6'8" is... I don't understand how it works. But, you know, it is definitely a major part in today's game. It's a very important thing for the Blackhawks having, I would say, a shorter end of the roster, you know, of the NHL. They're not the biggest team that we've seen. So having this guy on the defense is going to be a major opportunity. But we don't know how long he'll stay up. Might be only a few games, but he's not making his NHL debut tonight. He's making it, I would assume, next game. Only got back from Rockford today, so gonna have to get him into a line, get him paired up with some people before he makes his NHL debut. But like I said, another big opportunity for a top prospect in this. Being a goalie, a lot of you guys may have seen this, but Adam Gajan has made the roster for the Slovakia World Junior team. He played insane in last year's World Juniors. Nick, we watched World Juniors every year. And this guy put on an absolute show for those who don't know. I'll pull up his stats here really quick before we head back to the lineup. You can see last year's World Juniors, 936 save percentage, 240 goals against, with a 2-2 record. I'm not going to look at the record because, you know, Slovakia is going up against people like the U.S., Canada, teams like that that are just a superpower, like a super team, and you can't blame a goalie's record for that. However, Slovakia, I think, surprised a lot of people last year. They were very good. I don't think they'll be good as this year, but I think there's definitely going to be another top team in the tournament. There's a lot of returning guys, but this team is absolutely insane. Nick, what do you think about this? Obviously, Adam Gajan's been given a big opportunity once again, assuming he will be the starting goalie. But just from his performance last year, what do you think he's going to do this year? You know, Canada's looking a bit worse. World Juniors team. The U.S. is looking insane once again, but it's going to be a huge opportunity for him. What do you think?
Well, when you got a goalie with the caliber of skill of Gajan, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that
Yeah,
right either
I don't
way,
know.
but either way, he's a great goalie. When you got a goalie like that, never say never, man. Like the team almost beat Canada last year. Like, yes, I know they had a few more players on there that probably won't be there this year, but Gajan was the backstop of that team. That was like it took all of Connor Bedard in that overtime, that obviously iconic goal in overtime to beat Slovakia to get past that team. And that was one of the best goaltending performances we've seen at a World Juniors, at least in our lifetime. So I'm definitely excited to see that again this year. I'm going to be keeping a close eye on him, and I'd say a lot of people will be too that follow the Blackhawks.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with you. That's, I think, the guy I'll be watching the most in this tournament. Out of every team, even Canada, U.S., I think that my eyes are going to be on him the most. You know, as a goalie, I mean, I'm probably a bit of a bias there, but
Yeah.
I really like his style of play. Yeah. He plays on an underdog team, which is a big part of this. I think you'll get to see a major opportunity of what he can do under pressure, what he can do when there's a lot of pressure on him, because in this case, I think there will be, you know, especially against the top teams in this tournament. It'll also be a good opportunity to see how he does against some of the weaker teams, you know. It's obviously going to be, probably he might be a bit colder, I guess you could say, not getting as many shots. You're going to see how he comes down maybe on a breakaway, a turnover in the neutral zone or something like that. He's going to be having a plethora of different opportunities in this tournament. But I'm going to pull up his stats once again here. Going to University of Minnesota Duluth next season, currently playing with the Green Bay Gamblers. But you can see, that tournament was not just an oddity. He's been very solid his entire career. So if you are a Blackhawks fan, I do suggest taking a look at him, keeping a close eye on him, because he's a very exciting goalie for the future of this team. You know, Bedard and him being on the same roster is kind of crazy to think about now, but it's definitely one thing to be excited for. I want to pull up the Slovakia team. Sorry, once again, they also have Martin Misiak, who is currently playing in Erie. It's going to be someone to keep an eye on as well. I can't remember if he was on the team last year, but you know, this team I think is coached very well. Has been, you know, they're going in the right direction. I think is the best way to put it in the simplest terms. We've seen a major step up last season, and I think that we'll see a similar performance from this team again this season. So I wanted to let you guys know to keep an eye on both these guys. But you know, that's all we got for this video. Nick, any final thoughts on anything we touched about here today?
I don't know. I just last thought on the World Juniors. It's really fun to see. Like, we're talking about Slovakia, but you also got to mention like the Czech Republic and everybody too.
Oh, yeah,
like,
absolutely.
It's really nice. It's really nice to see. Like, I mean, as Canadians, we've owned hockey for a long time now, and like obviously the other countries are catching up or whatever, like the big ones. But the smaller countries like Slovakia and Czech Republic are also starting to catch up too. It's really nice to see.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And for those who maybe only be getting into hockey now with Connor Bedard being on the Chicago team, if you want to look for more, you know, try to get into hockey a bit deeper, I do definitely recommend watching the World Juniors. The most exciting tournament in the world, I gotta say. Hockey tournament, just to be clear. You know, this is something that is very exciting for everybody around the world. You get to see the next generation of talent coming into the NHL. And it's just super exciting because every game means something. There's nothing that don't mean anything. So all these kids are trying their hardest to make it to the finals and win that World Junior trophy. But that's all we got for this video. If you did enjoy, make sure to give the video a like and make sure to subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we're almost at 1,000. It would mean a lot to us if we could hit that by Christmas time. So yep, that's all we got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.